If half your kit needs AA batteries, a quarter needs AAA, and the rest needs USB-C, you don't have resilience, you have friction. Welcome back to the channel. Previously we talked about redundancy, and then we talked about functional diversity. Redundancy gives you backups. If one option fails, another can take over. Functional diversity takes this a step further. It's about choosing alternatives that are each the best at doing the job in different contexts. But once you start doing that, another question appears. Do these alternatives actually work together? Or do they all bring their own batteries, fuels, chargers, cables, storage, until what you have is a system that's fragmented and different components that don't really work together? This is where interoperability comes in. Interoperability is what allows different solutions to support each other instead of competing for space, power, and attention. It's the layer that turns a selection of good choices into a clear, coherent system. Interoperability is not about everything being the same. It's not about standardizing choices at all costs. It's about choosing systems that can support each other when conditions are imperfect. In preparedness terms, interoperability is having shared inputs and shared assumptions. When those line up, complexity shrinks. When they don't, friction grows. The simplest place to see this is in batteries. If one torch uses AA batteries, another uses AAA, a radio uses a proprietary cable, and a power bank uses something else again, you now have multiple parallel systems. Each needs its own storage, its own rotation, its own checks. By consolidating battery types, you're not reducing capability, you're increasing robustness. One battery drawer can now support torches, radios, sensors, and spares across the house. Interoperability turns a single spare into many. Fuel works in the same way. A single fuel that does cooking, heating, and power scales better than having 3 fuels that do one function each. Storage becomes simpler, rotation becomes easier, safety improves. Interoperability here is not about perfection, it's about alignment. The fewer fuel ecosystems that you run, the stronger the system as a whole. Interoperability is often unlocked by small things: cables, adapters, shared connectors. A single charging cable that works across phones, torches, radios, and power banks reduces failure points rather than adding extra devices. Adapters do not replace redundancy, they allow redundancy to function in the system. Interoperability is not just about power and fuel. It applies to layout and organization too. When the same pouch, medkit, or power kit can move between bags, rooms, or functions, then you reduce the need for relearning. Your hands already know where things are. Under stress, that matters. Interoperability here is about consistency of interface, not identical loadouts. This doesn't mean that everything must be standardized. Standardization is a bias, not a strict rule. Exceptions are fine when they earn their place, but every exception adds cognitive weight. And interoperability is about being intentional with that weight. One of the benefits of interoperability is reduced decision fatigue. When systems share batteries, fuels, and interfaces, fewer decisions are required at the point of use. You can just throw one charger into your bag, for example. These decisions have already been made calmly in advance. In such way, preparedness is about deciding once, not repeatedly under pressure. It reduces the cognitive load. Interoperability is how redundancy scales without clutter. The same batteries support multiple devices. The same power bank serves different roles. The same pouch works between home, the car, and work. You're not adding more things, you're extracting more value from the things you already have. That's how resilience grows quietly. For example, I keep a dedicated hospital bag. I once went into hospital and I didn't have a phone charger. It was a nightmare. So now I keep a small bag with toiletries, a power bank, phone charger, a few things. I'll probably do a video about it at some stage. But within that hospital bag is a smaller bag, which I can take out and put into a bug out bag. The bug out bag and the hospital bag have a lot of the same requirements. There's a few things that need to go in the hospital bag that wouldn't go into a bug out bag, and vice versa. There is a flip side to interoperability. The more tightly your system works together internally, the more it relies on assumptions about what inputs are going to be available. In a future video, we're going to look at external adaptability. That's how to design systems that stay coherent internally while still being able to accept unfamiliar or degraded inputs. Interoperability looks different in every home. If you've already made decisions about batteries, fuels, connectors, or modular kits, I would be interested to see how you approached it. And if you're still wrestling with some of the trade-offs, put them in the comments. Often the most useful ideas come from seeing how other people solve the same problem differently. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and I look forward to our next video.